of an insight to maybe what happened from somebody who was there in the building. Again, that initial sense that there was a smell of gas, but I think we've all been in places before where you smell gas and maybe you don't think anything of it right away, and then the explosion, and then that effort to go get out of that building. The one thing he left me with, he said, I don't ever want to experience anything like that again. And then he went off to go try to find the rest of his team. So there's just one story from somebody who experienced that and was up there in the second floor of that building when this explosion happened this afternoon.
Wow, that's incredible.
And obviously a very traumatizing experience for that gentleman. I just hope that all his friends, that everybody's doing okay, or as good as they can be considering the circumstances. Jason Allen, thank you very much for that live report. Of course, we're going to
taking a look. I mean, just look at the hotel right there, the second floor. I mean, this is where so much damage happened. Don't know exactly where he
you can still smell it in the air.
And there's a reason.
And if it's, we know it's a windy day out there.
Right.
Okay, so we know that if the winds are carrying it, that it's probably widespread at this point. And you know, if this happened again in the 3 o'clock hour, it's not even 5 o'clock yet. I mean, it makes perfect sense that this isn't something that has been capped.
And this is something we saw some Atmos workers out there earlier. They may not actually have been able to pinpoint yet exactly the source of the leak, where the leak is coming from. Obviously, this would be the place to start, but exactly where in there that leak might be, the fact that they have not yet resolved it, have not yet been able to put a stop to it.
Makes you wonder also, though, you know, how wide the leak is, and if it came from some kind of a pipe, you know, just the diameter of that, because, you know, a small pinhole leak, you know, I don't think would cause the kind of damage that you see here, or that you would smell the, you know, the gas still in the air, several blocks away from it where Jason Allen was standing, and that, you know, almost 2 hours into this event, that we're still talking about an active gas leak. But we are talking about an active gas leak.
Yeah, so they are expanding the perimeter, if you will, just to keep people further back. So they are moving our Jason Allen, and I would imagine, you know, anybody else who happens to be in this vicinity. But I would imagine, again, so they are no doubt evacuating then. I mentioned maybe they were telling people to hunker down, but if it is still active, then they are most certainly evacuating that area.
So, you know, you talk about the different things that are happening all at the same time, obviously the response to this, but now the evacuations that, you know, that are more than likely taking place, or just trying to get anybody in that area just away from it, gives you, again, just another perspective into just how widespread and how massive something like this is. You know, it is being called a mass casualty, but that usually means a lot more to first responders than it does to the average Joe who's out there. You know, mass casualty, obviously talking about how many people are hurt, how many injuries that you have, but it also means that you have the potential of something like this becoming worse and affecting a lot more people until it is finally controlled. And at this point, you know, we are not hearing that it is controlled. We are not hearing that an all clear has been given. We are not hearing that the number of injuries has stopped going up.
It is a little surprising that, because we've been on the air now for the last 50 minutes, and it's surprising that I'm not going to try to second guess anyone, but I'm just curious as to why now, if they've only just realized that it's not yet contained, that they don't have the problem resolved, or you know, why it took this long to determine, you know what, we need to push back the perimeter. And who knows, I mean, maybe it's something that they will get a handle on pretty soon here. Maybe it's something that is just out of you know, an abundance of caution. But either way, you know, Jason, who was only a couple blocks away from this, as we're just being told from our producers, that him and his crew, him and his photographer, have been asked to fall back. So essentially, this perimeter is expanding. And that makes, again, also, you know, initially we saw so many Fort Worth police officers down there on the ground that, you know, that makes sense. They're trying to control that area, control access in and out of it, because clearly there's still a danger that is very present down there. Yeah, so there's a restaurant there on the ground floor of that Sandman hotel, and as Jason was telling us earlier, the man that he happened to run into on the street wearing the triage, what do they call it, a necklace, but to alert others that this is somebody who has been injured, but he's not terribly injured. But he said he was in the second floor at a meeting with some of his work colleagues, and when they smelled natural gas, and the explosion happened just moments later. It's really just incredible hearing that those stories, and you know there are going to be more of them coming out just like this, because he said that they had to jump 5 or 6 feet to the ground because there were no stairs.
Just to get out of there,
the stairs were gone.
We do want to let you know, folks, we've got an extra piece of information that just came in. This is in regards to the Family Reunification Center. We know that authorities have set that up over at Sundance Square. I want to give you the exact address, because this is at Sundance Square, but it's at a parking lot right near Sundance Square. So the exact address here is 200 5th Street. Once again, 200 5th Street. It is a parking lot right next to Sundance Square, and that is where the Family Reunification Center has been set up. So again, the authorities were asking if there's anyone that's looking for a loved one, anyone that is missing someone, they're asking you, stay clear of this area at all costs. Do not go there. Those reunifications are going to be taking place over at Sundance Square. And again, one more time, just for redundancy here, in case you missed it, 200 5th Street.
That's right. Yeah, which is interesting because it was at, I believe it was 420 Houston, which is probably a little too close.
And that probably has a lot to do with the fact that the perimeter is being expanded, and it's sort of stretching back, and people are falling back. So again, all indicators right now are that this is still very much an active response. That crews and that officials are still very, very, very early on in all of this. And the obvious factor of that, at least to me right now, is that we're getting word that the perimeter is being expanded, that people are being asked to evacuate certain areas, even if they're standing outside, like our Jason Allen was on the corner giving us our live reports. You know, they were asked to fall back because of that, the potential, the danger that there's still an active gas leak happening down there. So again, we are showing you some images, folks. These are the images that came in from our chopper that was above the scene just a little bit ago. These are pre-recorded, but again, this is what is left of that side of the facade of that building down there on the intersection. Again, Houston and Throckmorton. Right.
And so this happened probably just over an hour ago. Maybe I'd say maybe an hour and a half ago, and it certainly. You know, talk about, I mean, just stopping everyone in their tracks. I mean, this is something, fortunately, that we don't see often. And, you know, a lot of people work, a lot of people live in this part of Fort Worth. And, you know, I imagine it's just, it's just startling.
You know, I want to, because one of the things, and you brought this up,
Okay, I'm sorry, we've got a media briefing. We're being told, let's get started.
Let's listen.
So you're good? You're good? Good, good, good. Michael, you ready? Good? All right, it's on you.
So, folks, this is a live look right now. This is the first media briefing that is taking place. It is about to start. We're going to stay on this because as soon as they start talking, I'm going to stop, and we're going to take this live for you. But this is the fire department and officials. Looks like the police department, as well as maybe the gas company, one of the Atmos as well. So they're getting ready to talk to us here in just a second here. Right now you can see that is Officer Buddy Calzada. He is addressing the media members that have gathered down there. Our Jason Allen, our photographer Mike Kinney's down there as well. And we can see that it looks like they're getting their notes together, but they're going to be addressing the public and the media here any second. So as soon as they start doing that, again, we're going to stop talking and we're just going to listen in. So at this point, any moment now, but not just yet. Looks like the fire official there is taking some final notes there, and they're going to be talking to us shortly here.
Okay, everybody good?
There we go.
So thank y'all for coming today. I know there's a lot of things that are going on, and we're trying to get this information out to put some of the questions at ease that are going on out there in social media. At approximately 3:32 today, our alarm office received a structure fire call at the area of 810 Houston Street at the Sandman Hotel here in downtown Fort Worth. Quickly after that, we got multiple calls that were coming in that there was a type of explosion. And I want to make sure that when I say explosion, we've got a lot of things that are going on social media right now that are getting a lot of people concerned. There is a smell of gas in the area, and there were windows and things that were blown outside of the structure. So right now, through our investigation, it looks like it is more of some type of gas leak. We have not confirmed that yet at this time, but I do want to make sure that everybody knows there's a smell of gas here in downtown. We're not sure if the smell of gas was caused from the explosion of the fire itself, or if that's what caused the explosion. But that's what we're looking at right now at this point in time. Within that, we did change this to also what we call a mass casualty incident, meaning we've got multiple patients. We have the ambulance down here. We've got our MCI trailers down here just to make sure that we can take care of, depending on how many patients we do have at this time. I'm being told we've got 11 patients that have been transported to local hospitals at this point in time. The incident itself has went to a second alarm. And we do have Arlington backing up here in downtown just for an added resource if need be. We've got a family assistance center for those that are trying to figure out if they've got loved ones that were involved in this case. It is set up at lot 15 at the Sundance Square parking lot at 200 5th Street. Again, that family assistance center is set up at 200 5th Street here in downtown at the Sundance Square parking lot. And we also have our emergency office set up and ready to go to help out with resources that need be. I'll open up for a few questions at this point in time.
Can you confirm any parts we heard talks on the radio about partial collapse? The interior?
I can't confirm any of that at this point in time. We were getting reports that it had started in the restaurant. We do know that there was some construction that was being done down at the restaurant, but we're not 100% sure that that's where it actually started at this point in time.
Do you know if the 11 people injured were from the hotel, from inside the hotel?
We don't have that information at this time.
What do you know about the extent of any injuries?
You want to talk about the injuries?
Sure. So we've actually assessed 11 patients so far. 1 was critical. 2 had serious injuries. The rest had minor injuries. 9 of those patients so far have been transported to area hospitals. We've had a total of 9 ambulances, and as Craig said, our ambulance is here as well.
There's a couple years ago there was a leak in the same area. Do you think this is possibly the age of downtown, the pipes and everything could have possibly led to something like this?
We don't have any confirmation or any intuition on that part right now.
Is there any, do you believe y'all have everybody out of the building?
We are still doing searches throughout the building. At this point in time, I can't tell you that we have done a complete search. It's a multi-story structure, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you accurate information as we go through that. But I can tell you that we are doing a search and rescue throughout the entire building at this time.
And are there any concerns about structural integrity at this point?
At this point in time, our people are going in there trying to make sure that we've got everybody out, and then we'll talk about the structural integrity, after that. But we're just trying to make sure that when we walk out of that building, we can definitively say that we've got everybody removed from that structure.
How many block radius was evacuated after the original scene?
I'm not sure at that time as far as the radius evacuated.
Do you know how long the area is going to be evacuated?
I can't give you a time on it. I can say it's going to be quite some time that we've got some stuff shut down until we can do our preliminary investigation and give you some more answers to those questions in the future. We are going to try to provide an update around every 15 minutes, even if it's just we don't have anything further at this point in time, but to try to keep you updated with the best information that we have as quickly as possible.
Is Atmos on scene, and what is their role right now?
Atmos is on scene right now. They are trying to help us with turning off different gas and stuff throughout the building and the surrounding area.
Keep in mind also the fire department has their media portal, so a lot of the info is going to come either their social media or the media portal on the FD side.
So we're not going to be doing 15 minutes every 15 minutes here at this spot?
Well, until, as far as right now goes, we will, just to have everybody together in one place. And then from there, if it gets to the point to where it's going to be drug out further, we'll make that determination and let everybody know the locations and stuff at that point in time.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Craig Trojacek, C-R-A-I-G. Last name is Trojacek, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Fort Worth Fire Department.
Buddy, there's a lot of police response down here. Can you explain why we see so many police down there?
Sure. One of the biggest things on the police presence is to set the perimeter. We want to allow Fort Worth Fire to go in there and not just see what the issue is, but make sure we save everybody and we get everybody accounted for. In order to do that, everybody wants to come to the scene and see what's going on. So police have been out here shutting off numerous blocks. We did about a 2-block radius immediately. And as we see the need, we're going to shift those or move those around. So I can't tell you exactly where we are, but we're at least a 2-block radius, and that'll move as necessary. We again ask everybody that's listening and watching, please watch from your televisions. We're trying to keep this area just as safe as we possibly can.
We see Air One circling and have been for a little bit. Is that to kind of help keep the airspace closed just in case something happens?
When something happens in the heart of Fort Worth, we ask assistance from every unit and everybody. So you'll see different units that may not belong, like a gang unit. They're here to help. These are our citizens. These are our partners, and we want to bring every resource that we have to help them. Anybody else?
Is there some concern that people are still missing on strike as well?
As far as missing, Craig I think I'll let Craig answer that. They're asking if anybody's still missing.
So the last I'd heard, like I said, we were still doing a search of the building. At that point in time, we did talk to the hotel owner, and he sounded like there was one person that had still was looking to be accounted for. I'm not sure. That's been a little bit ago. I'm not sure. We'll have a better answer for that at our next update. But the last I heard, we still had one person that was unaccounted for at this time. I'm not sure at this time.
Were all the injured inside the hotel what happened, or any other?
I don't have the answer to that question right now either. I'm sorry.
How many injured?
11. We have 11 patients total.
11 patients, nine transport.
Oh, sorry.
Nine transport.
I'll take it, Craig.
One critical, 2 serious, the rest minor injuries.
And the 2 that didn't go to the hospital are just addressed on scene?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So what we'll do is we'll give our Spanish media partners an opportunity to get some sound as well. During that time frame, we're going to go back and try to gather some more information. If there's any updates we can provide you with, we'll definitely give those. But we'll go ahead and take a break for now for our Spanish media partners to get the word out. Thank you, guys.
You've just been listening to the live update from fire and police officials on the ground in downtown Fort Worth, where we just got an update on that structure fire call that we now know came in at about 3:32. It was some type of explosion. He actually said that he's trying to get to the bottom of that because, as Jason told us on the ground, yes, he smells gas, but they're not sure exactly where that gas is emitting from and if it was a part of the explosion here. Just really quickly, the injuries in this case, one crucial or critical, I should say, 2 serious. We heard 9 ambulance transports to local hospitals, and a family assistance center has been set up at Lot 15 at Sundance Square parking lot, which is 205th Street. When you consider the magnitude of this explosion, we are so thankful that those critical injuries and serious injuries are not higher.
And we're hoping that that number doesn't get any higher.
Absolutely.
And that nothing changes here. Interesting thing to point out, though, Nicole, when that call came out at 3:32, initially it was out as a structure fire call.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of what the concern was at the moment. Shortly after that, that's when the explosion was reported. So it makes me wonder if there was something that happened before. Obviously, all of that is going to be determined in the investigation, but it does give you an idea of the kind of information that rescue workers and that fire crews were given when they were dispatched to this. That initially it was a structure fire call, then quickly it became an explosion call.
And just look at all
and now
that debris.
We see what happened.
Look at all that debris. We heard in the 4 o'clock hour, Jeff Ray signifying that this could have been an underground blast. And to that point, we heard from some Twitter traffic, I should say, that a rescue group from Fort Worth PD, they went in, they got the all clear, and they did that from the basement because they wanted to cut the gas to the building and make sure that there was no other threat in that particular regard.
We know that there's one person we just heard from that briefing that is still unaccounted for.
Correct.
But we don't know yet if that person, if they have found that person, they just haven't relayed that information over to authorities and to officials. Certainly hoping that that is the case, but as of last check, there is one person that is unaccounted for. Right now, let's get back out to Jason Allen following this briefing, following the information that we know, and let's check in with Jason. He is live for us there on the ground. Jason, I understand that you were asked to sort of fall back a little bit because of the concern of the gas leak still taking place down there. Set the scene for us now from where you are. What do we know? What are you seeing?
Ken, we're just about a block away from where that blast happened, about 3:30 this afternoon, just back here on this other corner. You're right, about 15 minutes ago, police started talking about moving us further back, about a block away. In the end, they just had us come across the street, so no expanding of the perimeter yet. But there is still a little bit of smell of gas in the air at times when the wind blows in the right direction. So that speaks to one of the concerns of the firefighters who were down here, that there may still be some gas leaking at the site. Again, they don't know if that's initially what caused the explosion or if that gas leaks are as a result of the explosion. Down here on the scene, they have moved in some heavy equipment here in the last 15 minutes or so, and there are a number of police officers that are now moved out to these corners. I think some of these people were up closer to the scene over the last hour. Now they've moved back around the perimeter as well. We heard the firefighters talk about still going throughout this building. This is a 100-year-old structure with a lot of rooms all the way up, and we know people were in the upper floors. We also know from talking to someone who was on the second floor of this building when the explosion happened.
He said there were no guests at the hotel. He said it is open for business. So whether or not that indicates there was some initial opening going on or construction work that prevented that, but he said there were no guests at the hotel. Another couple that was walking by, I asked them if there was any concentrated smell of gas in the area, and they said no, they didn't notice a smell of gas, but the gentleman said that he noticed the smell of paint burning. So they also mentioned some old piping in the hotel. The man who was there at the scene, he said he believes it has to do with old pipes and gas. So that we don't have any confirmation from authorities thus far, but we are hoping to learn more in the minutes to come. We should also point out there is a reunification center that is set up in Sundance Square. Now, people who are looking for someone or may have an issue in connection with this explosion, you should go to Sundance Square, because that is where we're told there is some center set up for information or to help people understand where they can find their loved ones. But also just want to point out again, this is about a block and a half away from the Sandman Hotel. And as you mentioned, Steve, we see the first responders walking around, but there's not a sense of it's not as if they're frantic at this point. So definitely dealing with the aftermath of an explosion that's occurred. 11 people, we understand thus far, injured. We do not have any confirmation on what caused the explosion, but definitely when we get more information, we'll give it to you. It's the very latest live. Back to you all.
Covering this live over the first hour or so, in that 4 o'clock hour, you could see people who are going in and out of the building, especially firefighters, and we know that they're trying to still clear some of those floors, but it does look like I'm getting the sense that just about everybody has been moved back further away. And as I say that again, we're getting that other whiff or smell of gas in the air. So as the wind kind of still blows here through downtown, it's very clear there is still a gas leak at the scene. I imagine that's probably the first thing that they're most concerned about, is getting that turned off and cleared out before they can start really probably safely moving any of that debris or clearing things out to open up downtown again.
That's right. We're glad that they were able to cut the source of that gas and get the basement all clear, just to make sure no one else was trapped inside and no other possible injuries. Jason, hang out here just for a second. I want to check in. Yeah, we'll check back in with you in just a moment. We've got tag board here, Ken, showing us some tweets from official agencies about the update on this investigation.
This is important to point out because they actually authorities gave an actual address for that reunification center for families. So again, 205th Street, that is a parking lot. It is lot 15 right next to Sundance Square for anybody who is looking to reunite with loved ones, get any additional information in the area. Again, these are all efforts, Nicole, to keep people outside of this area. Folks are being advised to just stay away as much as possible. So again, both Fort Worth Police and Fort Worth Fire advising people 205th Street. That is the spot to go. That is lot 15. Right next to Sundance Square for any kind of family reunifications that are taking place.
And right now, I mean, as we talk about how to help our rescue crews, make the progress they need through this investigation and cleanup, they're asking people obviously to avoid the area. If you know someone that works down there or maybe someone that was headed that way, call them, tell them it's a no-go. And we just want to let you know from that press conference, in case you're just now joining us, the gas leak or the gas factor in this investigation is not something that they've completely cleared up yet. It hasn't been clear to them if that is what caused the explosion or if that is simply a side effect of whatever happened here. We do know that one person is critical, 2 people are seriously injured, and we've got 9 other people with minor injuries that had to be taken to local hospitals in the last hour and a half.
The officials that we heard from in the briefing, they were very clear to address, some of the social media concerns that are going on. Because we're reading them as well, just so you know.
Yeah.
We have eyes on a lot of the things that are being said out there, and it's important to be able to sift, especially in the early hours of a traumatic event like this, to sift out what is fact, what is fiction, what still has not been confirmed. So we want to let you folks know again, the information that we're giving you is information that has been confirmed. It's information that we stand by, and it's information that came straight from the authorities and the officials out there. I say this because initially, there was a lot of talk about an explosion, where it would have come from, types of gases and all that kind of stuff.
And then you think about the president being in town.
A little later
People were concerned about that.
So we get that, okay? We're reading the information, we get that, but it's our job to let you know that what we know right now is that this is more than likely some sort of a gas leak explosion rather than a gas explosion. Those are two completely different things.
Absolutely.
And fire officials also made the declaration.
And not
exactly
unstandard in cases like this. We just heard from our producer that the ATF is on the scene as well. Not surprising. That's part of the process here. That's part of their job as well, to vet the origin of whatever this was.
If you're familiar with the area where
New Jersey. If you need health insurance, open enrollment is here. Get Covered New Jersey is offering quality, affordable health coverage with increased plan.
In the coming hours, again, we're not even 2 hours into this. This was at 3:32 that this went out. We're not even 2 hours into this, but I'm assuming at some point we're going to get maybe surveillance video.
I'm sure.
Hotel, an old hotel. We're not real sure what caused it, but we've been told 11 people were injured and they've been taken to the hospital. But that's about all we know. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Never heard of it.
Well, that one to the right says police on the building.
I bet you they were trying to get some old hotel back up.
Right. that one looks pretty old.
I wonder if I could walk.
Right?
You think I could walk down there and get like something with my phone?
I've been seeing people walk, like regular people. So I think we might be able to get a little closer if you want.
If you don't know the name, and quite frankly, I didn't recognize the name, this is a relatively new hotel that is open there. Wondering if at this point, just some of the questions that, as journalists that we have a lot of times when we see this is if there was any kind of work that was going on
That's
recently, if this was some sort of an issue related to maybe some refurbishing, to maybe some new construction that was taking place. We do know that the building itself, though, was built in 1920, and there's a lot that we can deduce from that time period when it comes to the building architecture, the way that these buildings were built back then.
Jeff mentioned it could have been steel.
And it is steel. All of them are. And this is one of the things that if you're into this kind of stuff, and I guess I sort of am myself, you marvel at some of the design and some of the architecture, the way that these buildings were built back then. And this area of Fort Worth downtown especially is filled with that kind of construction.
That's right. And that's what you think about when you look again at this extensive debris. Yeah, you see these, it looks like just kind of trash in the street. These are heavy duty items that were tossed and strewn about, which again, to our point earlier, it shows you the force of this explosion. It shows you the force of what happened here. And I'm sure as we go through the course of the investigation, the question about how this got started will indeed go back to how the building was built, refurbished, all of that.
So let's talk a little bit about timeline here so that folks kind of get an idea of where we are in all of this, because the call went out at 3:32. And again, there are tons of questions right now that we ourselves are asking, but we all know we have to be patient in these circumstances and wait for all of this. But we know this came out at 3:32. We know that initially, the search and rescue efforts is what happens first. We know that's where the 11 patients came out from. Again, 1 critical, 2 serious, 9 transported as of last check. We also know that there's 1 person right now that is officially unaccounted for. So
that's right.
Maybe that reunion has already taken place. We just have not gotten word. But as of last check, 1 person is unaccounted for. And then at some point, they're going to have to investigate this and then clean it up.
That's right. And that's the part that you think about. Okay, we've got strong wind coming in. We had a wet morning. Right. It's going to complicate the situation for our rescue workers and the people leading this investigation. And it's just, I think, probably has a little people concerned about what the level of the gas leak played, what level role that played in this explosion, because you're looking at the scene there, and while it may seem contained from your TV screen, I can guarantee you it's far more extensive than what you can see right now.
And it's just countless, the amount of police officers, the amount of fire officials, the amount of sort of agencies that are now, this is called a mutual aid response. When you bring in different agencies to try and help with the situation. But this, by the way, this is a live picture from the ground. And again, I mean, this is what it's going to look like if you try and get anywhere near there. Every block, several blocks in every direction, at north, south, east, and west is going to be blocked off. You're not going to be allowed access to it. And again, that's because they're still dealing with an active gas leak.
And on a regular day, around this time, you've got a lot of traffic in what is a smaller downtown radius. Think about that with a heavy police presence that Caroline mentioned. You're getting another look now from the chopper, a bit of a higher bird's eye view of the scene here. Again, a ton of debris looking like it could have come from the bottom up, just bottom basement, below ground level, straight up.
And you could see it. You could see it right there. Obviously, the caveat here is we're not explosive investigators or anything, but we know what we're seeing right now.
Correct.
And you can see that hole in the sidewalk,
gaping hole.
It is massive.
Yeah.
And when you think about what that is on a normal day covered with, you're talking about 10 by 10 slabs of concrete,
4,400
pounds each.
It's intense.
And now it's shattered in pieces. You can see directly into the basement, and God knows how deep that hole actually is.
I think we've got an updated look at Tagboard for you guys, just gathering some information that has been on Twitter from Fort Worth Fire, Fort Worth Police Department. Right now, we've got a tweet up from Tim O'Hare, Tarrant County judge. We know him well. He says information is being gathered on this situation as we speak. And an abundance of caution, I've directed our downtown county buildings to close for the day. Obviously, like we said, it's 5:22. That was going to happen anyway. But just to keep any extra folks that may have needed to go back to the office, finish a meeting, whatever the case may be, they have now been able to go home. And hopefully we're hoping they're safe and out of the way.
This is Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz, also getting wind of this. He said, my state team and I are closely monitoring the developing situation in downtown Fort Worth following the gas explosion at a local hotel. Please avoid the area until authorities deem it safe. Again, that has not been deemed safe.
No,
there is
it is not.
An all clear that has been given. Still very much a dangerous situation. He went on to say, we are grateful for the first responders who were on the scene of this accident.
We
can all echo that sentiment.
Yeah, because they've got a very, very busy night and days ahead of them. Want to take a break from this major breaking news in downtown Fort Worth and get you an update on your first alert weather. I want to bring in meteorologist Jeff Ray.
Glad they're done. That was painful. These people, it's amazing. They're sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, social media this, social media that," and then but then they don't want to elaborate. They're trying to say, "Oh yeah, well, you know, it blew up from downstairs." That's what happens. Gas drops. I mean, come on. Nobody, you know, not everybody's trying to put out false information. It's just putting out information. Unreal. And then they want to sit up there like they really know what they're talking about. There's a difference between a gas leak and a gas explosion. And then 2 sentences later, they're using the 2 terms together. Yeah, the gas leak leads to an explosion. I mean, come on, man. Your shit together. You're gonna talk shit, get it together. I appreciate the coverage and all that, but damn, at least if you're gonna talk shit, talk the right shit. Wow, it's like somebody's just sitting there smacking their lips, chewing gum or something. I don't get it. That's not me. I'm muting up when I shut my mouth.
It's your hotel?
Yeah, I'm staying there.
You are staying. Okay. Would you? Okay. Hey, we're going to talk to someone live. He says he was staying at the hotel.
Yeah, I have a room there. I wasn't at.
Okay. Tell me your name.
Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
Your last name?
Vanka.
Vanka? V-A-N-C-A.
CA.
V-A-N-C-A. Mike, you live...
I'm in California.
You're from California. You're here on business?
I'm here on business for 2 days.
And not what you expected at all.
No, I was,
Mike
I was on my way
Vanka.
back.
Mike Vanka. V as in Victor. A-N-C-A. So, what kind of hotel is it?
Oh, it's a very nice hotel.
Okay.
Downtown, it's about 500 feet from my offices. That's why I'm staying there.
And you were on what floor?
My room was on the 14th floor.
And then you were in your room when this happened?
It was next door at the building where my offices are.
Okay. And were you told anything at all?
No, it's a building in California, so it felt like an earthquake, but it was a very violent.
It felt like an earthquake?
Oh, yeah, it was a very violent explosion. Pretty
So
heavy
glad
explosion.
you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of work do you do?
Artificial intelligence. A company called Smart Action.
But your work had nothing to do with what was going on at the hotel?
Oh, no.
The construction?
I
Okay.
just have an office next door. I just stay in the hotel because it's convenient to my offices.
Okay.
Anyway.
So it must not have been very crowded at the
No,
hotel?
there weren't that many people in the
Not
hotel
sure.
itself. Even the
Okay.
breakfast is morning at like 3 or 4, so it's not a heavily traveled at this time of year.
Okay.
But anyway, I want to go find out what I'm going to do for a hotel room tonight because I doubt if I'm going to get in.
That is a good question. Do you have just a minute? Okay, we're gonna just ask you a question or
okay.
something.
Remember, I was not in the hotel when it happened. I was
Okay.
500 feet away.
Okay. Where in California?
Southern California.
Southern.
Beach.
Okay. This was your first or second day?
First, yesterday. I got here yesterday.
Okay.
First day.
Inside the hotel at the time, but what can you tell me about what's happened?
I was at the Fort Worth Club, which is an office that I have, and 7th floor, and the building just shook like someone slapped the side of it with your hand. So it was very loud and very violent explosion.
Okay, now you said you were next door. You're here because for your business, and you've stayed at this hotel before.
I have not. This is just a nice place, and it's very close to my offices. So.
And you said the hotel was not busy. There were not people, very many people.
It was, and it's a really nice hotel inside. I was very, very happy with it. But yeah, it was very astonishing to feel that and then find out it's a hotel I'm staying at.
Now you're in a bit of a conundrum, trying to find out what's next for you.
You know, I'm just happy that hopefully not too many people got hurt, and the ones that did are going to make it. So for me, to find another room is okay, but more important about make sure people are okay and just don't.
Definitely.
I can sleep in my car.
Well, Mike Vanka, thank you so much. I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for stopping to talk to us. All right. Well, that is the account of someone who says that he was staying at the hotel. He was next door when that explosion happened about 3:30. Said he felt it. It felt like a violent shaking, almost like what he should know. He's from Southern California, what an earthquake feels like. But we did talk with some others who also gave us their account of what they witnessed. Well, back live here, there is still quite a significant number of emergency responders that are still at this scene. You can see just a lot of flashing lights. We're about a block and a half away from that explosion scene at the Sandman Hotel, a hotel that, as you heard from one gentleman who says he was staying there, it was not a very busy hotel, but he definitely says he was staying there. He's in town for business. Some others, according to authorities, there were some injuries. We have heard 11 injuries thus far, and for now, there's not a sense of franticness, but definitely still the response in the aftermath of this explosion going on right now. Clarice, back to you. We do not smell gas where we are, and I talked to a couple of folks who came they were walking from that direction or closer to where the blast occurred, and they said, one gentleman said he describes what smelled like burning paint. But I asked him specifically, did he smell gas, or was there a smell of gas? And he said no. And again, we do not smell it here. We do know that Atmos has been on the scene and has cut gas. But as for what may have been the case a bit earlier, that I guess we still need to hear more details and find out. Definitely, and we're hearing 11 injuries. Again, we don't know the extent of those injuries. What we see from those images look like it was a devastating blast or explosion, and as you heard from the gentleman who said he was next door, just like a violent shaking that occurred when it happened. So we are just really hoping for the best, listening out for more details, and just trying to get as much information as we can. Clarice. Copy, thanks. Okay.
What about live now? Should I get off right here? Yeah, we just pick up number calls. I don't know. Let me look at the see what you're saying. Oh, she's saying, can we do it at 5:40, which is 5 minutes away? So it's right there, right? That's what he was telling me. It's on the street. That's one and a half. Man, this wind is brutal, right? Yeah. Did you hear that car jump the curb when you were doing a lap shot? I didn't know what happened. I was like, what is he doing? Who is he talking to? Oh, turn it on.
Yes,
I think
can.
it's off. I think it's off, Dion.
Okay, and it'll be a generic toss to my sound, just something like we spoke with some just a short time ago about what they saw, or something like that. Okay.
Man, it's crazy. Hey, hold that mic up for me for a second, just right there. Oh, what's that? Okay, got it. Thanks. Hey. Oh, wind.
What did you hear?
Oh, nobody can get there today. The gas is still on. They're still trying to shut it off.
Yeah, still have your things.
Oh, I was going to find a hotel somewhere I can replace things.
I see.
But it's cold. I won't close it up there.
Well, Mike, do you have a rental car?
What?
A rental car?
Yeah.
So you'll get some of those. Okay.
But anyway, well, thank you.
Okay.
Good luck and hang in there.
Can I have your number to check with you, maybe?
Oh, it's 949.
Alright. Again,
949.
what 09?
949.
949
278.
278.
Don't do it, Mike. Mike, don't do it.
417
5497.
97.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I'll check with you tomorrow and make sure you're okay.
Thank you. For
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take care.
So he can't get in, right? There's no way. Probably got his luggage in there and everything.
Poor Mike. Oh, man. This is crazy.
would you say Sundance Square? About a mile from here?
Huh?
Sundance Square about a mile from here?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. I don't know. It's right around the corner. Yeah. Yeah. Several blocks away. That's what. Yeah, I guess I have to.
Just gonna hang in here for a couple more minutes. They might. It looks like they might be doing another press release, so we'll switch over to that as soon as it happens. But Money Mike, oh man, Mike, it's a shame, bro. Gotta do something about that for sure. Thank you, everyone who stopped in. I appreciate you. Just waiting to see if they come back, do another press conference. Probably just gonna kill the stream after that. It's pretty obvious what went on. Yeah, we're just hanging in here waiting on this next press conference. It'll be coming up soon. We already been here for an hour and 19 minutes, so we might as well just go ahead with it, right?
Mic check 1 2, Jordan.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, first off, I want to apologize. I told everybody that we were going to do every 15-minute increments, and we pushed it here till 6 o'clock. So thank you for your understanding with that. I am going to do a really quick, brief recap of what we started out with, and then go into what information we have received since then. So again, this afternoon at 3:32, we had gotten dispatched here in downtown to a structure fire at the address of 810 Houston Street here in downtown Fort Worth at the Sandman Hotel. When companies started arriving on scene, they switched that call type to multiple calls of an actual explosion that had taken place. At that point in time, we switched gears a little bit from looking at it from a fire standpoint and how many, life safety is our number one. That's our priority anytime we roll up on a scene like this. So we did have to switch gears a little bit from a fire to an explosion. Now there was live fire that was in the building that has been extinguished since then. And I apologize for this. The wind's kind of got my pages blowing around. It did go to a second alarm, and what that did was allow us to bring in more resources to help with the patient care and stuff that we needed, the fire, to make sure that we were doing a search of the entire building, and to put the fire out. We did have the ambulance, which comes and they can take multiple people to the hospital at one time. We had our MCI, our mass casualty trailer, that came, that offers a lot more resources and equipment for us to be able to do our jobs. The calls came in. We had initial calls that people were trapped in the basement. We did extract several people from the basement that weren't able to get out on their own at that point in time. We have since then started doing our secondary all clear. We have found another patient that was in the building. Now, earlier when I talked to you guys, I said that there was one person that was not accounted for. That person was found. But since then, we have found that we had another patient that was trapped there in the building. Again, Arlington has cooperated with us, as they always do, and staged some of their apparatus here to help us with our call volume. And we do have that Family Assistance Center that's located at Lot 15 at Sundance Square parking lot, 205th Street. So what that Family Assistance Center does is it goes back, if you're looking for loved ones, if I know we're having an issue right now because of the amount of people that are down here with cell phone service, if you have a loved one that you cannot get in touch with, you can go to the location at Lot 15 at the Sundance Square parking lot, 205th Street, and we've got resources that are there to help you come in contact with your loved ones if you have not been able to make contact with them since this incident started. This is still a very active scene. Based on our characteristics of the explosion at this time, we have been working in collaboration with the ATF, the FBI, with our arson and bomb division as well. And so, again, we have not made 100% determination, but we wanted to make it clear that this was some type of gas explosion. And we're still working on the details of that to figure out what all caused that at this point in time. The hotel was operational. We do know that there was some reconstruction and stuff that was going on. There were 26 rooms that were occupied. So like I said, we did get, or people were either checked into the rooms and had gotten out on their own, or we did go in there and do some rescues on some patients, you know, to make sure that we could get them to the proper immediate emergency care. The patient count as we speak is 20. At this point in time, we do not have any casualties. We don't have any deceased that we're aware of at this time after all the search and stuff that we've done. So I want to bring an emphasis to that. I can open it up from questions at this time.
Sir, do you think that the reconstruction might have had, or could you explain a little bit about what that work was and if it might have had anything to do with the explosion?
Well, so the question is, as far as the reconstruction goes, is that what may have caused the event that happened today? I don't know the details on the reconstruction itself. I don't know if it was, I mean, the hotel was operational, and so I guess basically I can't answer that question specifically for you.
So the number of injured has gone from 11 for last update to now at least 20.
We've got 20 total. There were 19 that were treated here on scene and or transported to local hospitals, and we do have one patient that has walked into the hospital on their own from here on scene to get treatment at the hospital.
There's still only one critical.
I'll let Matt Zabasky with MedStar talk about that.
So the total patient count from this particular incident currently remains at 20. 19 of them were treated on the scene. Of those 19, 1 was in critical condition, 4 were in serious condition but not life-threatening. The rest had minor injuries. So far, 14 patients have been transported to local hospitals. 1 patient did actually self-transport to JPS with minor injuries. So a total of 21 patients total injured from this event so far that we know of.
Now, are these people who were in the building? Were they walking on the sidewalk? Were they driving? Do you have any idea where people were when they were injured?
They were, we don't know where they were when they were injured. They could have been outside, they could have been inside. So we're not sure.
You said you were able to find the person missing, right?
I'm going to let Craig answer that, but yes.
And that one more for you, the 14 that were taken, does that include the person who walked in, or is it 15 total?
No, it'd be 15. We transported 14 to the hospital using 12 ambulances and our ambus.
Can you tell us which hospitals?
All of them.
All area.
Yes, we triage them we rotate them to make sure that no one hospital is going to be inundated with patients.
We saw a woman being treated outside of the hotel. Is that the patient that was missing or the person that was missing?
Don't know.
Someone was found when you did the second sweep. You mentioned that. Were they?
Yes, ma'am. So when we do our preliminary search, it's a real get in quick. At that point in time, we weren't really sure. You know, they were talking about the stability and stuff of the structure itself. So when we do our primary search, it's a real get in there fast, as quick as you can, kind of room by room type thing, just like we do in house fires and other incidents. It has hazardous materials if we're going into a structure. Then once we kind of get a little bit of a headway on the incident, it allows us to go back in a second time and take a little bit more time to do a more detailed and thorough search, just to make sure we can go room by room, looking through all the different places. You know, some instances like on this one, there was some smoke that was involved. So that secondary happens after everything's kind of cleared out a little bit and we've got a better visual standpoint to go in and really feel that we've done a lot better of a job outside of, you know, the second time.
So just so I'm clear here, is it 20 or 21 patients?
It was 20 total. 19 were from here on scene. No, I'm sorry. So
this is a very fluid situation. We're getting updates as we go. So there were 21 patients total that reported injuries from this particular incident. We all treated 20 on scene. 1 left the scene, went to JPS on their own.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got you the right answer to that question.
Can you tell us more information about for those who are trying to find their loved ones? Can you give that address one more time, please?
So that address, we call it the Family Assistance Center. Sometimes it's known as the Reunification Center, just to be clear with all the different terminologies and stuff that goes on. That is actually at, like I said, it's at parking lot 15. At the Sundance Square parking lot. The address is 200 5th Street. 205th Street. So again, like I said, if you've got loved ones or family members that you have not been able to come in contact with since this incident happened, you can go down to that location and they will be able to help you get in touch with those family members. Like I said, I do know we have, just from the amount of people that are down here right now, we have been having some some cell phone issues, not being able to get out or in and things of that nature.
Sir, is there anything you can say about like how often gas lines might be inspected and if there's been any issues at this hotel or in this area?
So all I can say on that is I do know Atmos is on scene. The fire department is not over gas inspections and things like that, so you would have to contact Atmos to get that information.
Frank, any issues with access as you guys are trying to clear the building? I understand from talking to one of the people who was inside that stairwells have been destroyed. I mean, so that makes it difficult to exit. How about for you guys just getting in to be able to clear things?
Yeah, so I know some of the places when they were making their way down into, like I said, we had reports of people that were trapped down in the basement, and because of the explosion that took place, some of those access areas were either covered up or didn't feel safe at that point for people to get down into those areas to make sure that we were able to get everybody out. So that did play into the tactical standpoint of this operation. It was just safety for our people to make sure we could go down there and safely bring out whoever that we could find without causing more of an issue than what we already had.
Is there a chance residents who have cars inside the evacuation zone may not be able to leave tonight?
I'll let PD talk about that.
I don't know what the question was. Is there a chance residents with vehicles inside the evacuation zone won't be able to leave tonight?
The plan right now, as far as the perimeter that's been set up, is after we talk with some of the experts that are reviewing the structural integrity of the building, if we're able to collapse the perimeter somewhat to open up some more areas, that would give people access to vehicles and the businesses in the area. Obviously, we won't be doing that until it is safe to do so, but the last thing we want to do is inconvenience anyone who needs a vehicle to get home. So we'll work with everyone we can to make sure we allow access to areas as it's safe so they can access their vehicles as quickly as possible. Yes, sir.
Mayor? Have you been able to determine anything about the structural integrity of the building yet?
We do have property management on scene, and they are looking into that as we speak. We're still, like I said, trying to make sure and clear the building to make sure that we've got everybody out at this point in time. So I'm not even sure yet if they've been able to get in until we've kind of went in and did everything that we needed to do from a life safety standpoint to make sure everybody has gotten out.
So right now, is it accurate to say everyone's accounted for?
I would not say as of yet. Like I said, we have had the primary search, but we're still going through right now, going room to room to make sure we do the secondary search, just so we can say without a doubt that we have gotten everybody out and there's nobody else left inside.
The building's 104 years old, kind of a historic structure here in town. What does this mean to see this kind of event happen for you, ma'am?
Well, you don't skip to that first. You want to make sure people are safe. Really special thanks to our first responders, other jurisdictions that have stepped in to help our Fort Worth Fire Department and Police Department to get to this place. But of course, it's a beautiful building that was just recently renovated and opened, and so we'll work with the ownership of that building as quickly as possible, as soon as it's structurally sound enough to do so. But it's heartbreaking for downtown Fort Worth, of course, and at this point, well, our hearts and prayers are with the victims at area hospitals. So.
Were you here at City Hall when the explosion happened?
Yeah, I was actually at our new building, at the new Pier 1 building. So, but this building was pretty quickly evacuated, as was the federal building and others in the surrounding area.
Did you hear it?
I did not hear it, but our staff that was here at City Hall definitely did. Most of them kind of described it as an earthquake sound. Yeah. Any other questions?
All right, again, thanks for everybody coming out. We'll probably, I would say before the 10 o'clock hour, we'll be back seeing everybody again.
Hey, Frank, can you describe the scene when you first rolled up? Can you describe what you're about seeing? You can't see it down the street.
Yeah, so when you pull up on the scene, I mean, it's there's a lot of destruction and stuff that's going on. Not only when you're looking at the building itself, that you can tell that there's been some windows. It looks like maybe some walls and stuff that have been blown out. Covers from whether it be gas or water that are inside the streets. The covers were blown off from the street side. So I mean, when you're looking, like I said, there was a small fire I know that they had to extinguish. throughout that event. So I mean, it was chaos there for a minute when you show up and you're trying to figure out, okay, how many people are we talking about? What all resources and stuff do we need to make sure that we can, keep this as small as possible, make sure we're on our end, we're keeping the resources and everything coming in to make sure we have them there on site instead of calling for them later and you've got to wait, especially with as congested as downtown got with all the emergency vehicles, to make sure that we had those resources that were there on scene.
Were there also people helping other people on the street before you got there?
I can't say to that. By the time I got there, everything was already roped off and emergency personnel were doing what they do. All right, no further questions, and we appreciate it. And like I said, we'll have another update before the 10 o'clock hour or there at the 10 o'clock hour. Thank y'all.
Well, that's it. Looks like it's a wrap. Take you for a spin over here real quick to the website.
It will help.
245 room hotel.
It's actually not that big of a deal.
It's actually pretty nice.
Sorry.
At first they were saying it was not occupied. I don't know what was going on there. But, I mean, seems like a pretty nice place. Kinda. This is definitely the right building. Oh no. Sorry. I had to go back and pause it or get rid of it. Otherwise, it would have just, kept going. But, damn. It's a shame, man. Thank God nobody was, it wasn't a mass casualty event. Definitely could have been. Easily. Thank God everybody was, except for, the one person's and critical. Yeah. So, like I said, thank God nobody got seriously, well, obviously some people got seriously injured. No doubt about that. Where is the parking? On the roof? I don't know. It looked like it was underneath in the basement, but who knows? The main thing is nobody got hurt. Except, obviously that one person again. God. See, this is why I haven't gone live in a minute. I really apologize. Yeah. 245 room hotel. I'm guessing luxury. Apparently undergoing some type of construction. And obviously there was a big problem. But I appreciate everybody who stopped in. I'm gonna end this here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And God bless all the best.